I feel like because Tom King is not, like, responsive, like, he finds glee in the fact that he is a war criminal and caused, by his own admission, I think 15,000 deaths during the Iraq War. I think we need to start shaming him for something else, like the fact that his mommy has to buy him a position at Warner Brothers. Anyway, welcome back to another Last Week in Comics, where I talk about the last week in comics. Everyone just give up on adaptations. None of them are good. They're not worth the time and effort that we are putting towards them. I want to start off on something because it is topically relevant to a big issue in both Warner Brothers and DC that we're facing, which is one Thomas King, war criminal, planner of the Iraq invasion, murderer, and a Nepo baby. The first book, I want to get this out of the way because otherwise I will lose my voice later. So the big number one this week, outside of Robin and Batman, Jason Todd number one, which I did not, the one that we all like to shit on. I have to, like, collect my thoughts because, like, honestly, Thomas King makes me so fucking angry. I have to take a minute. So Trinity number one came out this week. You know that baby that Tom King made just because he wanted to make a baby and not because of Wonder Woman?
Girl, fuck them kids and fuck you too.
I have seen a lot of... I saw less online discussion for this one than I did previous Tom King books, which means that we are progressing further as a society. But because Tom King wants us to talk about him and wants us to talk about his involvement in the Iraq invasion, in the Iraq war, and in specifically planning the Iraq invasion, of course he had to announce this week that he was going to be working on Mr. Miracle, the animated series, because for some fucking goddamn reason, they decided to adapt that and not the superior Mr. Miracle 1987, which you should go read instead. Whenever someone tells you to read Tom King's Mr. Miracle, go read this one instead. It's like leagues better. There was something in the water at DC in the 80s. Like, specifically post-crisis, like, we got Blue Beetle 86, we got Booster Gold, we got the JLI, we got Mr. Miracle 87. There was just something in the water post-crisis that, like, made DC want to, like, greenlit everything and also have good books. I guess it's Crisis did so well. I'm glad that we as a society have decided to talk about Tom King. The first and foremost is a war criminal. I don't know why people can't wrap their heads around it. I don't know why people can't wrap their heads around the fact that James Gunn probably likes the fact that he's a war criminal. He keeps on fucking hiring him for everything. And I know people are like, oh, but he's only working on Supergirl. And, like, first off, he shouldn't have gotten that credit. He had a co-writer on that book who's not involved, and also the artist behind the book is not involved. But more importantly, I don't think anyone else knows this because he said it at a panel I was at during C2E2, but he is having creative consultant rights over everything that's happening with the DCU right now. Probably because A, he's on the good side of the government, and B, because his mommy buys him these jobs. Because I feel like also in the discussion of Tom King, yes, we do need... The main focus should be the whole... He helped plan the Iraq invasion, and he is a war criminal who is responsible for thousands of deaths. But also, when people ask, how does this guy keep being hired? The answer is his mommy is an executive at Warner Brothers. A former executive, which is why he was able to go from working in the army to immediately writing comics for DC. No wonder his kids fucking hate him and want him to go write Archie instead. This is another fun fact about him. Yeah, Trinity came out. It sucks. What did we all expect? It to be good? Of course it wasn't gonna be good. This book fucking sucks. I really do hope. I want to have faith in people who actually buy their comics and not just pirate them. I want to have faith that no one fucking bought this book. But it's a fucking number one of a legacy character, and probably all those fuck asses who are, like, sad and disappointed that they missed out on Damian Wayne's first appearance or John Kent's first appearance probably bought this in fucking droves because, of course, older men in their 40s fucking love sucking the dick of Thomas King, including old men in their 50s. I don't know how fucking old James Gunn is, but it is kind of weird because his wife is like 30. I fucking hate James Gunn. I really fucking do. He is emblematic of everything I hate about comic book adaptations. And I hate how much praise he gets. He gets praise for the same reason that Tom King does. Because they don't know these fucking characters and they sell these books to people who don't know these characters. And everyone gets the wrong impression of these characters. And also they're sexist. Like Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman, you can replace Barda with a fucking rake and nothing would change about this book except for the fact that Mr. Miracle's fucking a rake now. Where was I going with this? Don't buy this fucking book. Don't buy a single goddamn book that Thomas King is working on. Don't watch a single fucking thing that Thomas King is working on. Fucking Pirate Superman. I'm dead ass. Pirate Superman, Pirate Fantastic Four, Pirate Jurassic Park, also, or Jurassic World, whatever the fuck they're making, because movies are also expensive, and who the fuck cares anymore? This is a pro-pirating channel. I hope everyone knows this. Yes, I spend like $100 a week in comic books alone. I'm still for pirating those shits. I can only afford this because I have a well-paying job, despite what people think on Twitter. Reminder, Thomas King helped plan the Iraq invasion. He has blood on his hands, and he should not be hired by any of these companies. And I hope Trinity rots in fucking hell. I hope that this is one of those editorial decisions that, like, in probably only, like, 2 or 3 years we look back at with hatred and, you know, all the people who, like, bought them thinking that they were going to be worth money. I hope that they lose out on their investments. I don't hope that the comic book shops lose out on money, but I hope the people who pre-ordered that shit do. Okay, now in actual good books, let's talk about a really good Supergirl book that's out right now. Of course, I'm talking about Supergirl by Sophie Campbell. I have been loving this series. If you, like, this is the exact introduction piece that people pretend Woman of Tomorrow is. This is a perfect introduction piece for Supergirl, and I get that, like, a lot of people are a little bit upset that this seems to be aimed at not even, like, a younger audience. Like, I wouldn't give this to, like, my nieces who are, like, under the age of 10, but, like, a younger than, like, the average comic book buyer. And, like, obviously this book is... There's gonna be a Supergirl movie soon. Obviously, this book is to help get an introduction point for the mass amount of young girls who are going to get into Supergirl because of this movie. Hopefully. If not, they'll just look at her and think she's cool and then buy the book. But, either way, this is what this book is going to be. And you can especially tell that because around the time that movie's gonna come out, the first couple trades are going to be out. So... It's perfect timing, and that's fine. Like, we're not reinventing the fucking wheel here. Quick plot synopsis of this issue. Leslie Lar. It's the girl that Kara saved in the first issue. It turns out that she has been this evil Supergirl that has been, you know, kind of brainwashing the people of Midvale into thinking that she was the original Supergirl. She has come from Kandor to, you know, obviously to replace Supergirl. We're up to speed now. And so she releases an ape to help prove that she's a better Supergirl than Kara. Obviously, Kara's doing the real Superman, or Supergirl thing, which is saving the people first, while Lesla is just trying to show off, you know, her power set and, like, oh, look at how cool I am. Obviously, she gets fucking outed as the fake Supergirl. And then, to kind of help Kara discover what kind of weird, like, science Kandor shit that Leslie Lar has been doing, she calls on Lena Luthor, who is now goth. I don't know why she's goth now. And, like, I saw people complaining about Lena Luthor's inclusion in this book. Obviously, it's to hit that same sort of fan base that sprouted up from the Supergirl show, you know, Supercorp shippers. Stack is cheering off camera because Stack is also a Supercorp shipper. That was Stack's first introduction to Supergirl. So, like, I don't really see a point in getting mad at it because, like, as far as synergy goes, this isn't bad synergy. It's just bringing back someone who has kind of a looser tie to Supergirl and cementing her as more of a fixture in her world. I think that's fine. I think it's fine if it gets more people reading comics. Quite honestly, that's like my entire thing with this book, is that yeah, okay, it's gonna be more kid-centric. It is going to be a lot of preteen and teenage girls' first comic. So I like that it kind of has, like, this montage of all of her previous outfits. I like that she kind of gets to be less of, like, a, mid-20s, late 20s sort of age, and gets to be a little bit more, like early 20s. I think it's fine. My problem with DC de-aging women will never lie in Kara, because Kara is like Superman in that she is a very good introduction point for a lot of people into the world of superheroes. I, however, do not hold the same regard to Barbara. Barbara should be older than Dick. There's a reason that she was able to date Theodore Cord over here. Fucking, how many fucking Teds do we have? We have too many fucking Teds. Also, check out this nice artwork the Daystar sent us. It's lesbians, because it's Pride Month.
Credit the artist who did it.
Oh, shit. I have it right here. I'm going to hold it up. There we go. Now it finally zoomed in. They're on TikTok Shop, too. Little advertisement covering up Booster now.
Oh, man.
Why the fuck did Sheldon go sad about the world? SpongeBob save us. What the fuck is going on? We had to tell Squid's partner, Sheldon, about Thomas King. Like, he's so sad about it. He doesn't even read comics like that. Not the big two. Sheldon's mostly in the indies.
Because Sheldon has taste.
Because Sheldon has taste, unlike the fucking rest of us. Unfortunately, my dad got me really into Supergirl as a kid, and that has spiraled into this. Shit, what was I talking? Yeah, Supergirl. At the end, we see that Kara now has her old suit from the 70s, and Lesla Lar seems to have, like, her own new suit, which, like, is pretty fucking baller. I don't know, I like the two suits at the end. They're great. I love this. Honest to God, because, again, this is going to be a lot of, like, young women and girls' first introduction to Supergirl. If they kind of tap into, like, that kind of, like, drama, like, personal drama that made people really like the CW show. However, that comes with one exception. I want Dreamer in this book. Woo! Dreamer and more things. Woo! I want her to be a bisexual menace in other things. Woo! But yeah, Supergirl's still good. Fuck, Sophie Campbell's doing, like, an amazing job. I like that like, the thought bubbles are more consistent now. I would almost say that this is kind of a good book to teach you how to read comics. Because, like, it introduces you to a lot of concepts that were used in earlier books. Like, again, thought bubbles. And kind of the page composition is very easy to digest. There's not a lot of going back and forth, like a lot of more stylized books tend to do. So, you know what? If this book gets more people to read comics, I'm all for it. Again, the number one thing in this channel is that I just want people to read more comics. Thomas King's books don't do that, too, so fuck him. Supergirl has the Ash Danger stamp of approval. The other book I will defend with all my lifeblood, Fire and Ice, When Hell Freezes Over, issue 3. So, the basic plot synopsis, they're finally in hell. We get some mentions of Fire and Ice, the last time Fire and Ice were in hell, where they kind of did a Orpheus and Eurydice sort of thing, and Guy Gardner was also there. I can't really talk about this book without, like, mentioning a lot of the criticisms I have towards it. So, this is a sequel to Welcome to Smallville, which was the first one that Joanne Starter did. My opinions of Welcome to Smallville are that, quite honestly, it seems like it wanted to get more into the emotional center of Fire and Ice as characters, but was ultimately unable to because, unlike Blue and Gold, DC decided to let them have a lot of side characters and then also let them have 2 less issues than Blue and Gold. So when Hell Freezes Over kind of feels like, oh, now I get to expand upon a lot of the ideas, but also now we need a new plot because this isn't, like, a direct sequel to the previous book, because it's been, like, a few years. It's been, like, 2 years. And, like, that is the thing with, like, Joanne Starter. It feels like a lot of the times, Like, from the books I've read of her, it feels like she does want to get more into, like, dramatic, interpersonal storytelling, but DC has kind of pigeonholed her in as a comedy writer, so we're not really allowed to get that, and I think that issue 3 of Fire and Ice probably is more emblematic of it than anything else. This is a very deeply emotional thing for both Fire and Ice's characters. Obviously, the Orpheus and Eurydice thing from, was it I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League, or was it?
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
It wasn't called...
Oh, formerly known as the Justice League. That was the other one. Sorry, I always forget that one because...
I know, me too.
I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League is the better book. But only for that...
Only for when they go to hell.
Only for when they go to hell.
Those books sucked so bad.
The Orpheus and Eurydice thing in I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League, formerly known as the Justice League, and I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League, are set up exactly how Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, and When Hell Freezes Over. Like, it's set up the exact same way, where, like, they're not the best books. They're okay. But then also you hit, like, this point where, like, you're in hell now, and it's somehow the deepest storytelling, but, like, in comparison, DC won't let Joanne Starter have enough time to really focus in on this. Because, again, I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League was, like, 8 fucking issues. It was a while. It was longer than 6. Why the fuck is DC only greenlighting 6-issue miniseries unless your name is fucking Thomas King? I'm so tired of it. I genuinely feel like this book just could have benefited from, like, 2 more issues. Like, let it be 8 issues. Let it be longer than 6. I like all the side characters. I especially like that they gave Fire a disabled boyfriend. You know, if we're gonna do this, then this is better. This is better than a lot of options we had. Like fucking Lobo. I like this book. I want to like this book. It just feels like we're doing too much in such a short amount of time. This book makes me irrationally angry because it's like I do like it. I like the storytelling that's in it. But also at the same time it feels incomplete every single time I read it. Like the issues don't even feel like a full issue. This is another one of those books I'm like, you just gotta wait for the trades. They're not gonna cancel it early, hopefully. I don't think DC's done that yet. That was the other company who did that. Man, I really wish that they would just stop only greenlighting 6-issue minis. Or just bring back the JLI. Just bring back Justice League International. I'm tired of this Justice League Unlimited bullshit. I forgot to read this book this week because, quite honestly, I don't really think anyone really talked about it this week. Green Lantern Corps issue 5. We're still doing the, like, you know, what I thought that this book was originally going to be based on of the description. And while it does seem to be focusing a lot on specifically Simon's trauma, and Kelly's. Quite honestly, like, I'm sorry, John Stewart's fucking weird shit with Chihera was allowed to get a full issue by itself, and yet the rest of the Lanterns are having to do this weird back and forth thing every issue. It's just slightly more than the normal 22 pages, which means on average, each story's only getting, 13 pages. This book has so many problems. I guess the 2 stories are intertwined, but, like, I don't like this book. I don't think it's a fun book. I think it's kind of just, You have all of these interesting and fun lanterns, and then you, like, you shove them all into the same, like, page count, and then give the most boring fake-out love story 3 whole issues to themselves. I really do hope that this book gets canceled, quite honestly. I'm sick of it. Jess hasn't even had anything to do in it. For fuck's sake. Actually, no, this is another book I should have read, but I didn't because I did make the promise that I would start reading Absolute Batman when Catwoman was introduced, and this is the issue that officially introduces Catwoman. And I keep on seeing panels of her online, and, like, yes, this feels like the Batman and Catwoman panels feel like 2 lesbians. Like, everyone knows the exact one I'm talking about because everyone on Twitter is like, what do you mean that this is Batman and Catwoman? And it's not a front on Selena, it's a front on Bruce. Like, I think maybe my problem with Absolute Batman is that it's clearly, like, establishing, like, this relationship between him and his villains. Like, they're all childhood friends this time. And because I see, like, the panels of, like, him and Selena interacting and him and Waylon interacting. And I really like those parts. But then the rest of the issues fucking, like, Bane or something. And I'm like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Why the fuck is Bane so goddamn big? Holy shit! You get what I'm saying. I feel like the only way I can interact with this book is seeing the couple pages of stuff that I'm actually interested in and just ignoring the rest of what happens in this book. It's probably still good. I'm just not a Batman fan like that. And I think that's fine. Okay, so Action Comics 1087 also came out this week. This is starting the Mark Waid Superboy story. The story of Superman when he was a boy. Making, by his own admission, the definitive Superman as a boy story. I don't think we need this. I feel like we have, like, enough Superboys and Supermen, and Supergirls, and Power Girls, and Steels, and like, I don't want to go back to Clark's childhood. I understand why they're doing this, because the Summer of Superman is kicked off, and, like, everyone's doing shit for, like, the fact that Superman's coming, and it's gonna bring in a new wave of comic book fans. But Jesus Christ, can we not have Mark Waid on everything? I like Mark Waid. He's on fucking at least every single week, there's one Mark Waid book that's on here. Also, Aquaman number 6, also by Jeremy Adams. Nothing good about this book has been said ever. The Aquaman fans have finally hit my feed, and they have all said that Jeremy Adams hates women. Because apparently they gave all of Mara's powers to Aquaman, which is weird. And it feels like this is a retaliation because they didn't like the fact that Amber Heard called out her abuser. So, fuck you, Jeremy Adams. I hate you. We're just gonna list off a couple the two Batman books at the same time. So, Batman Dark Patterns number 7. I do believe that this is more of, like, a Black Label story. I don't know what the fuck Batman Dark Patterns is, but, there's always, like, 500 Batman books that come out every week, and no one has enough time to read all of them unless your name is Day Starter. And then, obviously, Batman and Robin, issue 22. I think one of my mutuals said it best, when she directly said that in order to get good Damian Wayne characterization, there is always a underlying, racism towards the Al Ghuls. Yeah, that's what Batman and Robin has now become. Fucking sucks to be a Talia fan! Obviously, okay, so we have already talked about shitty comic book writers, more namely Thomas King, the kind of the Islamophobic category. Let's talk about the ones that are in the Nazi category, namely Otto fucking Schmidt, who is still working on DC vs. Vampires World War V. I believe that this ends in 12 issues. I fucking hate that man. Again, and I know people are like, how do you know he's a Nazi? First off, Otto Schmidt is not his birth name. Most notably, in this Power Girl spread that he did, where he included 4 separate Nazi Power Girls. Why did he feel the need to do that? What's his name again? I want him fired. I want him gone. Again, DC has this habit where they keep on hiring, like, these terrible men, and I don't think that, like, people, like, do not put your energy towards the Harley Quinn fart comic or fucking Fire and Ice or fucking any of these women at DC, except for Devin Grayson and Gail Simone, who are both sexist and racist. Instead, put all your energy towards these shitty male writers like Jeff Loeb, Thomas King, and shitty male artists like Otto Schmidt, Frank Miller. The list goes on. There's so many shitty men in comics. I could literally spend like a 30-minute video just naming them all. Probably longer than 30 minutes. I think I would need like a couple hours. Fuck Otto Schmidt too. Your art's not even that fucking good. Oh, and then of course, so the kind of last book from DC this week, I mentioned it at the beginning, but Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, number 1. Apparently most of the arguments that have been happening on DC Twitter were towards classism regarding Jason. Of course, the whole, like, oh, he's the angry, vengeful Robin because he's from the streets. And, like, Jesus fucking Christ, can Batman fans go, like, one day without being racist towards one of them? I think that the only one that they are not racist towards is Tim Drake. But then also everyone's homophobic towards Tim Drake. So what are we really doing here? Like, they're racist towards Dick Grayson. They're classist against Jason Todd. They're homophobic about Tim Drake. They're sexist about Stephanie Brown. They're racist about Damian, and don't even get me started on Duke Thomas. Who's the creative team behind this? So, by the way, it's, Jeff Lemire. The art and colors are from Dustin Nguyen, which I do really like Dustin Nguyen's art and colors. Honestly, regardless of what's happening on DC Twitter right now, I do think that you should go check this book out. This is not, like, a bad writing team. This is probably a great book. Just DC fans on Twitter are fucking weird, and then it takes over the conversation of whatever you're trying to have with these books. But yeah, that's it for DC. I'm not done talking about them. Okay, so, moving on to the indies. So, from Image Comics, I would not be doing my due diligence if I didn't mention that they're still having Transformers books publishing. I know that there is a weird rise back in the Transformers fandom, so if you haven't checked out the comics and have mostly been reading the big two, I do recommend you check out, Image's Transformers series. I've been hearing really good things about it. I've checked out specifically the Starscream issue, and I really enjoyed it, so definitely go read it. Also, I hate Fairy Tale Land still going on. I'm a very big fan of Scotty Young's art. I have, like, several of his pins, and obviously I have every fucking copy I could possibly get my hands on of his Human Torch series that he did back in 2003, but I Hate Fairy Tale Land is his indie work. Again, remember, if you like any comic book writer or artist, except if their name is Al Ewing, they have probably an indie series that's still currently out that you should go check out. Okay, so from Dynamite, I am going to mention this because I am an Army of Darkness fan. They are doing a Red Sonja and Army of Darkness crossover right now. They're on issue 3. I like it. Fun fact, I was actually named after Ash from Evil Dead, so the fact that, like, he's still, like, culturally relevant and I get to tell people that, and most people don't know what I'm talking about is fun. Oh, I forgot about this book coming out. Okay, we're skipping... Well, actually, no, we're gonna get to IDW. I usually save IDW for last because IDW is, like, my personal favorite indie publisher. So, of course, we have another issue of Star Trek Lower Decks by my best friend, Ryan North. You should definitely check out the series. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I just always, like, miss it when I've been doing this series because I don't go to my local comic book shop until, like, the 2 or 3 days after, like, I make this. But they also have this new book. It's called It Rhymes with Takei. It is a kind of autobiography by George Takei about his experience growing up in being in the Japanese internment camps during World War II, and also kind of discovering his sexuality. I forgot that this book was coming out. We need to go and get it immediately. Get it. Get this. It's gonna be great. Okay, and then from Dark Horse, so I know that, like, I know that a lot of people like the Umbrella Academy. They are releasing new Umbrella Academy books. They specifically are starting a new series, the Umbrella Academy Plan B. Issue 1 just came out. It seems to, from, like, the cover, it seems to be kind of adapting the Sparrow Academy back into the comics, because, again, I don't think I read the original Umbrella Academy, like, all 3 of the trades. The Sparrow Academy was not in it, so I guess we're refolding them back in. I don't know what we're doing, and I still haven't read this yet, so we're doing something with the Sparrow Academy. Oh, and then they're also having, fun fact, for those of you who are Critical Role fans, they also have Critical Role comics, and, so they have a new one, Critical Role Vox Machina Origins #1. A lot of, like, kind of shows and stuff that, like, maybe don't have enough pull to last or to have really concrete stays in mainstream culture, a lot of them have comic books. Or if a show you like has just recently ended and you really want to see more of the characters, they probably have a comic book out right now. That includes, like, Adventure Time, too. Like, comic books are great, man. It's the second week. It's the second week of the month. It's always slow. Anyway, so that was it for last week in comics. Up here is going to be your next recommended video. Is an episode of Ash and Their Fantastic Friends, my live stream I do every Saturday, 9 p.m. EST. Is it another episode of Last Week in Comics? Is it a YouTube short? Or is it a video I still haven't published yet? Who knows? I don't! And down here is the rest of the playlist for Last Week in Comics. I've been doing this since November 2024. There's full series that I have recapped the entirety of because I've been doing this. You know how crazy that is? And then obviously subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos about collecting comics and how to do that, because I feel like a lot of people, when they want to start collecting comics, they get scammed really easily. I got scammed when I first started collecting. Stack got scammed. Did you get scammed?
No, I never.
No, you had me around. Never mind. You never got scammed.
Anything.
My cousin got scammed. And I wasn't there to protect him. I'm gonna be talking about that. How not to fucking get scammed by some of these resellers. How to bag and board. Well, not really how to bag and board your comics. That one's kind of self-explanatory. But probably best practices for protecting your comics. I say like there isn't like 500 piles of comics in my room right now. And grading. I want to talk about grading because I have a bone to pick with fucking grading comics. Also, what these things are that's back here. Because that's a Wyatt Wingfoot picture, and I don't think enough people acknowledge it. Okay, we're done. I'm done talking now. Subscribe. Down there, link Ko-fi. If you want me to make a video on something specific, pay me. And